giant. Bruce Suggs take flight.
Controller clicks, glass clinks, collision of dreams. Pixels popping off screens, game is supreme. Joystick champs handle schemes obscene. Chugging that craft while we craft another meme. Pixels and pints, we on the grind all night. Gamepad in hand, Bruce Suggs take flight. Dungeons to dice rolls, boss battles ignite. Cheers to the squad, keep the vibe airtight. Unlock achievements while popping them tops. Press start, we ain't stopping. Flow don't drop. From 8-bit classics to next-gen ops. Beer frothy, convo tight, pure hip-hop. Level up, life's hard, blinking in full. Tapping into worlds where the pixels rule. Pint in one hand, other grip got a duel. Gaming and sipping, double task, so cool. Pixels and pints, we on the grind all night. Gamepad in hand, Bruce Suggs take flight. Dungeons to dice rolls, boss battles ignite. Cheers to the squad, keep the vibe airtight. Pixels and pints, we on the grind all night. Gamepad in hand, Bruce Suggs take flight. Dungeons to dice rolls, boss battles ignite. Cheers to the squad, keep the vibe airtight. Backlog deep, but yo, Q stays tight. Jumping worlds faster than the landline bites. From noobs to legends, every realm unite.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pixels and Pints podcast. Some technical difficulties, but we worked through them. And just as a bit of exciting news, Spot 'em Gang, now the official home of the Pixels and Pints podcast, as you can see. Rope Man, how are you today? My amazing co-host.
Good evening, my bearded friend. How are you on this beautiful Saturday? I am fantastic after taking a nice siesta after my stream earlier, because apparently I needed more sleep even though I slept 11 hours last night.
I mean, you know, you had a couple of drinks, you had to sleep it off. That's understandable.
Hey, I need to be at 110% for the greatest podcast in the world.
In the whole world. Erky, what's going on? Welcome in.
Hey, Erky, what's up, buddy?
So, got a good one for y'all tonight. Hope everybody's ready for probably one of the greatest debates in video game history. I mean, I brought my alcohol because I'm ready for this. I've got alcoholic Mountain Dew. It doesn't get better than that.
Oh my God, that sounds awful.
You know what?
I've got real man beer right here.
Hey, I've got real American beer in there. But no, it just tastes just like Mountain Dew. It's actually insanely crazy how good it is.
Doesn't real American beer just taste like Hulk Hogan, though? Doesn't it just take you back to the 80s?
Flame, welcome in. And I don't know what Hulk Hogan tasted like in the 80s.
Oh, Panda, don't lie to the audience. We all know that you got up and close and got a little taste of that tanned golden bronze god that was Hulk Hogan in the 80s.
Oh. I'm pretty sure it was cocaine and steroids. That's what he tasted like in the 80s.
So you do know what he tasted like. Excellent. All right. Point is taken.
Fair enough. But yeah, besides knowing what Hulk Hogan tastes like, don't ask. Got an exciting podcast tonight for everybody. Rope Man and me have been building it up. Y'all seen the promotion. Y'all see what's going on. We got to end this debate because Rope Man, obviously wrong, is a...
No!
I mean... Wow. I mean, how can you even do that? But we're going to get in deep to that because I've came prepared. I've got my ammo for that. But we do got a couple of more things that we're going to go over. One is some pretty exciting news out of the gaming industry. And that is, and we'll wait till we pull it up as a surprise for those that haven't heard yet. But we've got a really 90s video game company coming back to us, and I'm pretty excited because I mean, being a 90s kid growing up, they made let's be honest, they made a lot of crap games, but they made a lot of games that I rented from Blockbuster constantly. So I'll
He's on fire!
Boom shakalaka.
Panda, I actually think we should start there. I think we should save the debate till the end. Let's make everybody simmer on the great debate.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. So let me get it pulled up here. Doobie doobie doo.
And for anybody that's wondering what Panda is, my mic is super loud. Oh, hold on. Well,
No,
we can't have that.
Let's just be honest. That's just rote, man.
Yeah, that's also possible. All right, let's move that away. There we go. Cicada, is that better? Or am I still super loud? That's better balanced. Okay, perfect. Good.
All right.
Yes, I am on a brand new complete setup. So if for some reason audio video out of me sounds wrong, just let me know. I can move stuff around. This is the first stream together I've done with Panda for the Pixel and Pints podcast since my computer basically got rebuilt. So
exactly. And I mean, well, we'll go into that later. I'm going to give Rope Man a pass on that one, but
hey, I have been telling everybody all week, like, my settings are all screwed up. I'm working on it. I apologize for technical difficulties.
Let's be honest,
but it's getting better.
Let's be honest. The disc went out on it. There was a lot of Tifa fan art. We're not going to go into it, and there's a reason for that, but we'll go into that later.
Hey, what I like to do in my free time is for us to talk about after we talk about the other two things.
That's fair.
But Panda, what are you drinking tonight, by the way?
Well, before Rope Man decides to make fun of it again, it's actually pretty cool. I found these hard Mountain Dews. They have, this is a watermelon one, but there's regular Mountain Dew, Baja Blast. Oh, the Baja Blast is one of the most amazing drinks ever made.
Can we all agree that alcoholic Mountain Dew is much like Aerith from Final Fantasy VII? Flat
hey, Bear, what's
and
going
lame.
On?
Hey, Bear. Alcoholic Mountain Dew is just like Aerith. It's flat and lame. End of story.
At least there's a personality there. She's not just a monk with giant gazongas with no brain, but that's just Tifa. I mean, let's be honest. But
personality is good for marriage material like Crafty upstairs. Not for my video game heroines.
We'll get into it. Trust me right now.
All right. So what Panda was talking about earlier, a couple of things just before we really dive in. One, I am thrilled that we have teamed up with the Spot'em Gang. Panda and I have both been Spot'em Gang members for well over a year. It is super exciting to have the Pixel and Pint podcast, part of the Spot'em Gang podcast network, along with the Spotcast. This is clearly the superior of the two podcasts. Both of them are great in their own right, but clearly one is above the other because one has Panda and I, and the other has True Villain. So I'll let you all figure out which one's the better
right
of the
there,
two.
that sells the podcast itself. And we've got a moving beer background. Who does that?
Yeah, absolutely. But you should absolutely watch both of them. The Spotcast is every other Friday at 7 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Or 7:30. Cicada, you'll have to let me know.
No, we don't let Rope Man get sloshed anymore.
No. This is a much more balanced, well-rounded Rope Man for the podcast.
Oh God, Bear hit us with the Teletubby twerk.
The Teletubbies, yes. But
I forgot
the other aspect. But what Panda was talking about is the return of Acclaim video games.
Check it out.
Wow. And if you want to know why I said he's on fire and Panda said a boom shakalaka, we are totally talking about NBA Jam, which is by far, in my opinion, the best. I know Mortal Kombat's in there too, but NBA Jam, that done. Say no more.
Exactly, Flame. And yeah, I know what you're referring to there, Bear. I got you.
Turok!
But yeah, so I found this article the other day in Eurogamer, who apparently Europeans don't understand dark mode. But It's very bright.
Is that a chicken reference or dark mode? What?
No, look at the screen.
Dark meat?
Look how bright.
Oh.
I mean, you're not going to miss it, but Shadow Man was an amazing game. Like, very underrated, I think. But yeah, so basically Acclaim has been acquired. Classic games from the 80s and 90s, of course. I won't go and read the whole article because that's just, I don't want to bore y'all to death. But basically what the article goes over is that it was purchased and there's a lot of, like, people. And I forgot about this, by the way. I wanted to throw this out there because this Sonic Master, welcome in, man. How's it going tonight? But one thing that really got me about this is the fact that they mentioned the wrestling games, and I completely forgot that Acclaim was the one that did like the Raw games and stuff. And I was like, are you telling me there's a chance we can get that again?
Well,
I love
so
the 2K
Panda
games.
Panda, I have to temper at least with WWE, I have to temper your excitement just a smidge. We got to be honest. 2K is not going to let go of that license to an Acclaim that is an indie developer now. Like 2K has a stranglehold on that. But there are plenty of other good wrestling promotions out there that do not have a license with 2K outside of the WWE. So
if you say AEW, I'm just going to close the article because that's
actually
not
I think AEW has a game with a different developer.
Oh yeah, I bought it for $5.
Oh, okay.
I was
going TNA. We might get a game with Joe Hendry. Damn it.
That's true. Or we get him as DLC. Why can't we just get him as NXT DLC?
Well, he should be main roster, but that's another argument for another day. But
true. That's for a wrestling podcast that we haven't started, but we'll eventually start probably. But yeah, and I forgot a lot of the games, and it was funny just reading through this article because I've seen Turok games, but forgot, and I remembered Acclaim made them, but they've been putting them out for a little while. There was that terrible one. What was the last one? Was on Xbox 360, I think.
Yeah, it was back. Well, the last games they put out were back. Were they on the 360? I thought it was like I thought it was N64.
No, that was the first two. Now they were super popular, and then there was the third one. I believe was Xbox 360, and it just bombed because it was terrible.
Right. Was that after? Because Activision bought them. I remember that. So Acclaim went bankrupt. I distinctly remember that, which shocked I guess it didn't shock everybody, but it was surprising. And I remember Activision bought them out of bankruptcy for next to nothing.
And this is what I'm curious about because a lot of their IPs were bought up by other companies and have been, but you've got some, and I'm not saying this is just like a AAA title, but like Iggy's Wrecking Balls. That's one of their IPs, and I was trying to remember some of their games that they could actually bring back because most of their IPs got sold off.
Iggy's Wrecking Balls. That sounds like something naughty out of Erky's stream, honestly.
Erky, probably. But it does
couldn't resist.
Oh no, that was a fair shot, Rope man. I won't even. Woo! Raid time!
Oh, let's go! Spot 'em Gang raid! Hell yeah! Welcome to the first Pixel and Pints podcast on the Spot 'em Gang podcast network. I'm just gonna say that repeatedly because I think it sounds cool.
It really does when you say network. Very fancy. It's a sentence enhancer, if you will, to quote SpongeBob.
I'm just trying to elevate things considering Villain is one of the podcasters here. I kind of have to raise things up and eliminate that lowbrow aspect of things.
See, and I agree with what you guys are talking about there with the Turok. I want to see Turok come back, but I actually tried and played like the original Turok. They added them to the Nintendo Online, and I forgot how extremely clunky those games were. And I was like,
well, those games were, and it was hard. Turok was hard.
Yeah, it
like
was
I played the one on. I played it back on the N64 back in the day. It was one of the games we actually had that we could find in our podunk little southern Iowa town. And by God, that game was damn hard.
Thank you for the follow. You get a Barney Gumble burp for that.
Yeah, I haven't had enough burp to give you a haven't had enough beer to give you a full rope man burp yet. But
he's apparently had enough beer because he said he hasn't had enough burp. So
I haven't had enough burps yet. but
I'm excited because I'm really I love new game, everything that's come out, but I really miss the fact of some of these older companies that did go under. And Acclaim, really, they did it to themselves because they started making a ton of licensed, terrible games. Does anybody remember?
Yep.
And I think this was Acclaim, if I remember correctly. I think it's in the article where, yes, Batman Forever. That game was dookie.
that was the one with the Riddler, right?
Yes.
Like the Riddler was the bad guy. Oh my God. Yes.
And I like the.
I do remember that.
The movie, I can go, okay, I enjoyed the movie because I did like Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Yeah.
He was too over the top, but Val Kilmer, highly underrated Batman. Highly underrated.
They did figure that 9 months was a good. Yeah, that used to be the turnaround time for most games,
Yep.
But I remember renting Batman Forever, and I couldn't get past the first level, and I got so mad, I took it back 2 days into my 5-day rental. Zaries, thank you for the follow.
Thanks for the follows, everybody. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we're trying to grow the podcast. We're trying to get out there. We're trying to get, Tito Khan, thank you for the follow. We're trying to get Smash JT on here so we can just, berate him, but it's okay.
And then we get canceled or sued.
I actually like Smash. He's a pretty cool guy, and I feel like he's one of the few people right now fighting for the video game industry to stay a video game industry and stay out of other things. As much crap as I give him, I do enjoy him. So, but I would like to actually have him on as a guest when we grow a little bit, because I'd love to hear about this whole thing he's got going on in the courts, because I love court cases, and this is something I feel like could affect gaming YouTube in a big way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just from a standpoint, we'll get back into Acclaim in just 1 second. The with his lawsuit, being on YouTube or Twitch or anything like that, being able to say what you want to say, like the freedom of speech aspect of it, is very, very important. And don't get me wrong, being a troll, not cool. Don't do it. Don't be in the words of Rope Man, the words I try to follow in life is don't be a dick. Don't be one of those. Don't be a hot dog. But if you are gonna be one, you shouldn't be sued for it. That's what I got.
I mean, what's wrong with being a hot dog, Rope Man?
They're salty, they're processed, they're delicious. That's all I got.
That was all. If they're delicious, and that sounds like a positive, not a negative.
Well, there's positives and negatives in a lot of things in life, Panda. Much like how the old NBA Jam games used to play, and we need a new one now. I want an NBA Jam game so bad.
You can, Mystic. You can indeed. You can be the bun instead of the hot dog. It's fair.
I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to keep drinking my beer here.
Callie Mom.
That's right, Callie Mom.
Thanatos, welcome in.
So, but Panda, so have you, in this information you found about Acclaim, I know a lot of their pieces were sold off in terms of like their IPs and their old games. Is there any indication on what they might be producing going forward as an indie developer?
That is the only thing that was really left out of the article. It was more of, hey, they're coming back, but it didn't really say. I mean, there's even like they even threw in like a Jeff Jarrett reference in there, so I'm not really sure what that was about. I mean, did Jeff Jarrett buy Acclaim? I don't know.
He could have. I mean, well, you think about it. So Activision only spent $100,000 when they got it back in 2004. Like,
Oh wait,
you know,
Paul's wrote, man, he is indeed one of the advisory board leaders for the new Acclaim, two-time Hall of Fame wrestler Jeff Jarrett.
So so here's my take on hearing that new information to me is that whatever project comes out of Acclaim next, we're gonna get a commercial of Jeff Jarrett just bashing it over the head with the guitar and the guitar splattering, being destroyed everywhere.
But yeah, as far as their because it mentions that a lot of their IPs have went on to be made by other publishers. And seeing that they're going to be an indie developer, I feel like they'll probably take on projects and help other companies instead of really developing their own newer IPs.
Sure.
Because I mean that makes the most sense. Because they come back out of bankruptcy and back to life basically, and I feel like they'll start off, they might eventually pick back up some of their other IPs, but I feel like they're just going to be intersected with, and porting, like Flame said, porting IPs to other consoles, helping with stuff like that. And that's you know what, Tito Khan, actually a good, because I forgot he's intertwined with AEW because he had that whole thing with MJF, yeah.
So honestly, I agree with everything you said. But what I could actually see is, and something we need to keep in mind is, much like a lot of our other beloved companies, and game developers of the past, the people that made Acclaim what it was back when with the Mortal Kombats, the NBA Jams, the Turoks of the world, those people aren't back. It's just the name that's back. So we really need to take that with a grain of salt. Yeah. And remember, whatever's coming out now has nothing to do with the historical aspect of Acclaim back in the day. It's anybody can buy any IP and any name. It's the people behind it that are what are important, not necessarily the name.
But the people behind it originally are the ones that sunk it. So I don't know if it's
it took them 15 years to sink it. So because Acclaim started in the early 90s, late 80s.
They were it was the 80s because I think they were one of the first companies near the end there to start developing their own IPs for the NES.
Oh, 87. So Acclaim Entertainment started in 87. And then it changed. It went under a new incorporation, so that it was essentially the same thing.
But good point,
and it
Drew.
Went to
like Atari. That's a good point, Drew.
Yep, exactly. But it went defunct in 2010, so it's been gone for 14 years. So even the people that were a part of it 14 years ago, they're whether they're still in the industry or not, they're gone. This is a whole new thing. And we have to take it like it's a whole new thing. But
you also got to think that their name alone is, they've been gone a while, but still their name still holds a lot of pull in the game industry to where you hear
for sure.
I hate to bring it up, James Rolfe may bust through my door and drop kick me in the face, but you literally can't mention the NES without companies like Acclaim or LJN. Yep. I mean,
absolutely.
How many people played an LJN game and just knows that?
I hear an angry video game nerd hanging outside my house. He's pissed.
He's gonna take you back to the past. But I grew up on LJN games and Acclaim, and while there were some real stinkers in there, and it was mainly because you know what? I actually like that game. If you ever actually understand it, and because the instruction manual tells you jack, but once you actually figure it out, There's a method to that game's madness. And
I'll take your word for it. I'm never playing it again.
Dude, Fat Face George is one of the greatest video game characters in history. That's what we called him. I don't even know his name, but he was the one with the just really like, everyone else had these thin faces, and then there was him, and we just called him Fat Face George. And he's the only one I could beat the game with, because he could throw a damn baseball like a professional pitcher for the Braves.
God.
Can't tell you how many times I pegged Jason's mom in the face with those baseballs. The true villain of the original movie.
So, Panda, let me ask you, of all of the classic Acclaim titles, I know they're all spread out and like they're not owned by Acclaim anymore and whatnot, but if you could have one that you could bring back under the Acclaim umbrella and let them bring it back to its glory day, what would it be?
Oh, we've already screamed it like 3 times. I want a new freaking NBA Jam. That's all I want.
Hell yes!
I mean, nothing ever will beat the fact of jumping from half court as former President Bill Clinton on fire dunking a basketball. That is probably the greatest memory of my childhood. Louie, welcome in and thanks for the follow, man. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
Oh, I tell you, the NBA jams that I played at home were all right. They were fine on the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, those. But I tell you what, the NBA jam that you played at the arcade back in the 90s, like with the 4-player. Oh my God, the graphics were so great. It took like $17 in quarters to play one game. It was so worth it because it was just phenomenal.
Was it? By the way, another game, and correct me if I'm wrong, just off the top of my head, but did Acclaim not also do NFL Blitz?
I don't know. Let me look that up. I know they did the original Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2.
Well, I just remember in NFL Blitz you could play as Raiden. That was
no,
Midway.
it was
okay.
It was Midway. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it was not.
I thought they were.
However, that's another game that should be brought back.
Right? NFL Blitz was amazing, but I just remember Acclaim had something to do with Mortal Kombat, and then I remembered Raiden was actually in NFL Blitz.
I'm just picturing like quarterback Raiden, like guys coming to sack him, him just being like zzz, 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 just shocking the defensive line.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, NBA Street was fun too. Look, I forgot all about that one because I've never been other than NBA Jam, like sports-wise. Like when I was younger, I was really into baseball, always into football, somewhat into basketball in the 90s. I used to follow the Bulls, but never like deep into it.
The number of kids that got into the NBA because of NBA Jam back in the day was astronomical. Like a lot of kids didn't know anything about the NBA, and then they played NBA Jam at an arcade and were like, wow, 2-on-2 basketball is cool. Then they actually watched a real NBA game and were like, oh, I don't want to watch this anymore. I want to go back to the arcade and play NBA Jam.
But just imagine a new NBA Jam, and they add in more modern people. I'm not a political person, but I'm not going to tell you I would not absolutely laugh my head off my shoulders if they put Donald Trump in there. And
can you? Joe Biden and Obama versus Donald Trump and we'll go Mitt Romney 2-on-2.
Just imagine, I'm on fire. It's just from half court, freaking Trump is like, oh, it's so bigly, slam. And then Joe Biden just like falls asleep halfway in the middle of the court and doesn't dunk or anything. Thank you, Cicada.
Yes, we absolutely need this. I know the new Activision Acclaim would get sued to Kingdom Come by Donald Trump for doing that, but that would be like the greatest game ever.
You couldn't sue him. No, all you'd have to do was
public figure. You're right. Yeah,
he is a public figure, and you could change just enough for it to be artistic representation. You could put a
Oh God, Drew. Don't even who made Celebrity Deathmatch the game? What company made that? Hold on. Let's I love Celebrity Deathmatch.
Acclaim would probably just do it for the sake of it, not absolutely be 100.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it'd fall under parody, honestly.
It was Take-Two. Okay. Damn. I was hoping it was Acclaim. I was like, that would have been perfect.
I remember that. But
Celebrity Deathmatch was when that was on MTV back in the day. Oh my God. Like that was peak me staying up till 2 a.m. watching stupid television shows.
Oh, speaking of a short interlude here. Speaking of staying up till speaking of 2 a.m. shows, I did want to point out, I'm pretty sure some of you may have seen it if you follow me on Twitter, but I did want to point out and say RIP to an absolute legend. For anyone that was a kid that stayed up way too late and watched Space Ghost Coast to Coast, we lost George Lowe the other day, and that right there was a big hit because that was the very first show I watched on Adult Swim and had no clue like what was going on because it was completely just hectic. And I was like, you know what? I was like, and I got to meet him at like a con, and he was an amazing person.
Oh, Space Ghost was so good. I mean, I remember watching it and being like, oh, this looks like a neat cartoon. Then he's like sitting on like a talk show set, and I'm like, what? And then a screen would come down and be like a real celebrity. I'm like, what? Like, why is George Clooney talking to Space Ghost? What the hell is this?
And, I thought for years, I was like, these interactions are so weird. But what they would do was tape those beforehand. And they didn't know they were going to appear in front of Space Ghost on the show. So that's why it always looked so disconnected.
That's awesome.
Kind of like Between Two Ferns. Have you ever watched that with Zach Galifianakis?
Yes.
And they, I love that. I love stuff that just is weird and just out there. And Space Ghost even had the man, the myth, the legend as his uncle, the Macho Man, appear as a voice on the show one time. Oh, yeah. You know what? Naruto did used to be one of those shows that aired like really late.
Really? Oh, that's weird.
But see, for me, it was always 4 a.m. This is school now. I should have slept in, but at 4 a.m., back before anime ever became a thing here in the United States, one of the first ones I ever watched was Dragon Ball Z. I had no clue what was going on. It was the Saiyan saga, and it would just repeat itself. Like, they'd get to the end, and it would repeat itself.
See, my first anime that I really got into was Inuyasha back in the day.
That's crazy, Thanatos. I've never heard of that, but I need to see that now.
Oh, I had no idea.
You know what, Erky? Harvey Birdman. That is.
I am Harvey Birdman.
I was going to say, if you ever want to see a live action Harvey Birdman attorney at law, you're looking at him. And Stanley's Peanut.
Yep. Yeah. No. Peanut's my paralegal at work. Stanley is Avenger.
The Queen's Corgi. I'm going to look that up, Thanatos, because that sounds. The Frieza Goku fight on Namek Tito. Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong.
Oh dear lordy.
And that's cool, Louis. He got to befriend the voice. I love Mr. Out of all the characters, because me and the guy I work with, we're both really big DBZ fans, and I love Mr. Satan. The guy's great. Everybody thinks he's like won the world, like saved the world from Cell, and he's not going to say any different.
Well,
But-
Panda, do you think we should get into topic number 2 before we get into the big debate?
Yeah, and this topic is one that Rope Man chose for us, so I'm going to let him
Yep.
start it off.
This is a little, I don't want to say serious. We're going to get into the very serious debate after this, but
True, but look at Louie over here making friends in the industry. We gotta cozy up to him so we can be like, we got a friend at Microsoft. I'll get you banned when we lose.
All right, time out, Luis. I gotta say, I am more of a one for all fan as opposed to an all for one fan. Let's like, it's all about Rope Man here. So,
Someone get Rope Man a stick. His head is about to just break his neck. I did see that he had his own podcast. I need to
and it's really good.
I like the name.
It's really, really good.
The Reef is just a cool. That's super slick. I like it, and I love the sharks. By the way, Louis.
Don't ask him to dance in a shark costume. It'll traumatize you for life.
He was the one in the shark costume at the Katy Perry concert.
Oh, so he was the one that messed up he was left shark, right?
That was Louis right there, just jamming to his own, to the beat of his own drum, if you will. Starblade. Now, okay, before we get into the next one, I just want to share. Now, here we go. This is aging myself here, but
he's
I will
old.
say my very first anime. And I guess it would be like, it's not like modern day anime, but it's still anime technically, and that was Voltron.
Oh, yes!
Voltron.
Sorry.
I had all 5 of the tigers, and you could put them all together and make, it was so great.
Can we all agree that Power Rangers was literally just a rip-off of Voltron? Like...
Oh, no. Was it, though? Because Super Sentai had been going quite a while before Transformers even existed. So technically...
Okay, so we can go with Power Rangers being a beautiful marriage of Transformers and Voltron. Like, putting it all together.
Oh, Thanatos, don't rip on my childhood like that, Rope Man. And yes,
No,
yeah.
I am a huge Power Rangers fan. No, I'm not disparaging it. I've got a signed picture right there of David Yost, who I went to college at the same college as David Yost, the original Blue Power Ranger back in the day. Met him in person at a con just a year ago. Got pictures, had a nice 10-minute conversation with him. So. No, I'm not ruining anybody's childhood. I am Power Rangers for life.
Yeah, and nothing beats the OG Power Rangers. I mean, I'll post it into because I'm not standing up because that would be a lot of work, but I will post my tattoo. Rope Man's seen it, my Green Ranger tattoo on the back of my leg.
Yep, you've seen my Green Ranger full sweatsuit that I have.
I have. It's a onesie, and it's got the little duty drop bottom in case he has to go to bed, bathroom at night.
That is a false statement. It is a 2-piece, but the drop bottom thing might be
Louis,
real.
you do that, you would be an absolute legend, and I would love that.
I love My Hero Academia. I love it. I play the music on my channel every once in a while.
If you ever get a chance, I know sometimes, we're all busy, Louis. If you can drop by the stream, I make all my redeems super cheap, and I've got an All Might one with one of the best versions of Be a Man, like a metal version, playing behind All Might, just kicking absolute ass. And you need to come see it. I think you.
Hello there, young man. Very good, young man.
Well, hello, fellow children. No.
Oh, dear God. All right. On to our next topic of this illustrious, beautiful Saturday evening. I want, with the release of the new graphics cards, what is it, the 5090, if I'm not mistaken.
It is the 5090. It's also called overpriced.
Yes. I've seen so many people, both the 9070 XT as well. That's the AMD version, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen everybody's like getting their panties in a twist over getting the new graphics card and really
I'm
being able to beef up their rigs.
I'm not getting my panties in a twist. That's why I wear bikini style.
Gross.
Enjoy those visuals, Rope Man, in your nightmares.
Shit, I don't have enough beer for this. But no, so I honestly, considering we are on the precipice of the Switch 2 coming out, the PS5 Pro has just come out. Xbox has basically said we don't care about consoles anymore.
Oh no, they're done.
They're done. PC gaming is becoming more and more prevalent. I just kind of wanted to have a conversation with chat, with you, Panda, on where are we headed? What are we doing with PC gaming versus console gaming? What's the future? What do we all kind of think? I have many thoughts, and I'm kind of scatterbrained with it. I'm not gonna lie.
I will tell you why. And by the way, just to catch up on chat, because I'm about to go into one and explain. Louie, you're always amazing. Erky, Drew, you are. I haven't heard of Micro Center since the 90s. I didn't know they still existed.
Micro Center still exists? What? Hold on, yeah, I gotta Google this. All right, go ahead. Go on.
No, I'm just baffled. But GTA. Oh, Louie, look, he got GTA 6 before any of us. We're done. We're cooked.
Holy crap! There's one here in the Twin Cities metro area. I had no idea.
Oh God! Like I said, I seriously watched a show not too long ago about like their downfall, but apparently they still exist. But back to what we're talking about now. When it comes to, obviously, I have PC, I have Xbox, I have PlayStation, I have Nintendo, and I'll tell you why why consoles will always exist. And I've actually got a good recent example. Now, I bought a game, it was like $1 something. I don't know if you've ever heard of the anime Gungrave, but it's pretty cool. Guy with a giant gun on his back just obliterating things. That's all you need to know. Well, I bought the game. And obviously my PC can run it just fine. Stuttering, I thought, what's going on? See, Thanatos knows what I'm talking about. Gungrave is an amazing anime. But bought it, game just runs like absolute crap. Went to the forums on Steam, it's just not optimized. Downloaded it for $2 more on the PS5, loaded it up and had a damn good time. Took me 5 seconds. Did not have to load shaders, did not have to do all this back end stuff. And that's where consoles will always benefit, is the need to not have to constantly have to be optimized, because they can play things out.
That's a fantastic point. Like so people have followed my channel for Drew. Yes, Drew has the exact thing. Console equals easy.
It does. And and outside of that, you got consoles like Nintendo. You want a Mario game? You ain't getting that on PC. You're going to buy Nintendo's newest console.
You know, I don't want to take Nintendo like completely out of the conversation, but you can almost put them in a separate category because they build their own hardware. They have so much of their own IP. They're like in their own little gaming world almost, since they're not cross-platform, all that fun stuff. But I'm not taking them out of the conversation. But they are a breed of a different animal almost. Well, a very good animal.
And it's because they do their own thing. Like everyone constantly, like with the Switch 2, and I know Cicada is all about some Switch 2 news. he was on it before anybody was on it. But
I haven't heard him talk about it in like a couple of weeks, and it's kind of creepy. I'm like wondering if he died.
hey, Valkyrie sneaking in during her stream because I'm watching her while I'm doing the podcast. I've got her up.
But
she's running a gas station, which, coming from someone that's worked in a gas station, that one that she's building is a lot more exciting than the one I worked in.
Yeah, I've worked in a gas station too. It's not as exciting as it sounds, everybody. Like, I know it sounds all cool to be like, hey, I get to take the money and hand people cigarettes. It's not as glamorous as it sounds.
I thought Rope Man was really about to say, hey, you get to take the money and not show back up. I'm like, whoa, Rope Man, that's for
no!
Another... Hey, where did Rope Man go? He went to smoke a cigarette around the side of the building. He said he'd be right back.
Only cigars. I smoke cigars on very rare occasion, but that's been a number of years.
I think we honestly, Tito, most of us have worked in a gas station at some point in life.
Hey, if you haven't worked an overnight at a gas station from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., you haven't lived. That is some weird stuff that'll happen at a gas station from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Nothing says Nothing says I'm on illicit substances like showing up at 2 a.m. to order the most god-awful pizza you can imagine and just watching the guys he makes it for you.
No, Panda. In Iowa, 2 a.m. is the last minute you can buy beer in the state of Iowa, like at a gas station or any place. 2 a.m. From 2 a.m. to like 6 a.m. or 8 a.m.
Wait, y'all get 2 a.m.?
2 a.m. is last call for being able to buy
12.
alcohol.
12.
Oh, okay. Well, nothing was more fun than watching the clock on a weekend, Friday or Saturday night, having people walk in at like 2:01 and put like a 30-pack of Busch Light on the counter, and me being like, taking the Busch Light off and being like, nope, no beer for you. Because I couldn't drink it. I was 18, 19 years old. But getting to tell these adults that were just hammered off their asses that you're done for the night. Oh, that was pure Rope Man bliss back in the day.
But you know what? The youngins, the ones that are just old enough to drink, were always the ones that, if it was past time, were super nice. It was always the older guys. Like, there was a guy coming there one time. He didn't have his ID. That's illegal in the state. You cannot sit without a valid ID. I think that's actually a federal thing. Maybe.
No.
It might be just a state. It's a state.
It's state, but no. I actually had a regular with cigarettes. He came in every day for a pack of Marlboro Reds every day, and I swear to God, one day he didn't have his ID. I asked him for his ID, and he's like, Rope Man, you know what my real name, but he's like, Rope Man, I'm here every day. You know I'm like 35. And I go, sorry, I need to see your ID. He goes, are you serious? I don't have it with me today. And I'm like, well, no Marlboro Reds for you then.
Right. See, Tito gets it. It's still the law. And it's like, first of all, why are you driving without your ID? Because if you get pulled over in an office, you're not getting out of it with him. But I had a guy come there one time, older fella, puts it up there, and I was like, I need to see your ID, man. I have to scan every one of them. The system won't let me do it without it. He goes into, I'm older than you, blah, blah, blah. Dude turned into like a fireball mad red and just walked out because he's like, I'm older than you, boy. And I was like, weird way to say you'll die first, but that's cool.
Panda, I got a better one for you. I forgot about this. So our shop teacher / golf coach when I was in high school, every Friday.
By the way, everybody, that's how you know you were in Iowa. They're multitasking. The coach.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, he multitasks. I knew who he was. I knew how old he was. I went to school with his kid. Like, I knew he was over 21. He came into the gas station once and wanted to buy a 30-pack of Busch Light, as he did every Friday. Well, I'm guessing that's how he got through his work week, was being able to pound a 30-pack of Busch Light on the weekend.
He's a teacher. Of course he did.
Exactly. But one time he came in without his ID. I knew who he was. I knew how old he was. And he knew who I was. He walks in, he puts it out, he's like, I forgot my ID. Can you sell me my beer? I look at him and I go, no, sir, I can't sell you your beer because you don't have ID. I have to do it. He's like, you're lucky you're not in one of my classes right now, or else your grade would have just gone down half a grade for mysterious reasons. I go, well, thank you, sir. I'm really glad that I don't take golf and I don't take shop right now. And I took the 30-pack off, and I'm like, now go get your ID. I mean, he had it with him. It was out in his car, but...
But it's like, why? I mean, maybe this is just me. But who just walks out of their house? I've always had my ID in my wallet. My wallet's always in my back pocket.
Yep. Same here. Well, not in my back pocket. Having your wallet in your back pocket is bad for your back. Fun fact.
Well, I mean, that's fair, but I don't have all the money in mine as you do, Rope Man, so mine's not weighed down with all that lawyer money.
It's just an American Express Platinum card, Panda. Anybody can get one. Just because I have one doesn't...
But yeah, that was always a fun time, denying the people that were very obviously of age, because it's like, in your face, I run this.
Just because you have an 80s porn stash does not mean you're of age to be able to buy those cigarettes, sir.
Look, that was one time, and I didn't keep it long, okay? I got rid of it. I kept getting made fun of. But no, it's like, speaking of teachers, dual, teachering, it's like, were you really a
dual
90s
teachering?
Like, were you even a 90s kid if the coach wasn't a female that looked like Rambo?
Oh my God, you just reminded me of my junior high PE teacher.
Told you. Well, technically, Tito, I'm an 80s kid as well, but I was born in 84, so I didn't get really into school till the 90s. And yeah, we all had a female, coach that looked like Rambo, and I think that was the requirement for the job.
And they had to like that, and that teacher had to be wearing the bandana as well while they were coaching. Like,
oh yeah. The 80s prawn stash. Cigarettes I actually got rid of 11 years ago now.
No, porn stash. Just Google Ron Jeremy and thank me later.
You were in 8th grade in 84. Okay, well, nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
That just means that you're at a higher level. Is Ron Jeremy in jail? I think. I don't know if he went.
Or is Ron Jeremy dead?
No, he's still alive. But I know a bunch of people came out with allegations against him.
Yeah, he was not a good dude.
And I was like, you have to be a real sleazeball to be in that industry and still get accused of what he got accused of.
Yeah. He's not a good dude. I do not endorse anything Ron Jeremy has done or ever will do, other than a couple of possible porn stars from the 90s. But that's neither here nor there.
Fun fact, Thanatos, if you didn't know this, here in the U.S., Toys R Us actually went bankrupt. They are still extremely popular in Japan, and there are many of them around the actual, cities and stuff.
Don't they still exist in Canada, too? Or am I wrong on that?
You mean the 51st state? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. The 51st state, they still have Toys R Us, right?
UK Toys R Us is gone too. Okay, so it's gone in the UK. It's in Japan. I don't know about Canada, honestly. I got a few friends up that way I could probably ask, and they'd tell me.
Well, they're trying to make a comeback here in the States, but we'll see.
You know what they don't have? That every time my friends from Canada come down that they buy an obnoxious amount of and get looked at weird? We have a certain kind of syrup here in Alabama. Golden Eagle.
What? Whoa, time out. This isn't going to get weird, is it?
No, not at all. Golden Eagle syrup is actually made in a town down from me here it's Fayette. It's very, very popular. It's one of the big things, but it's internationally, people love it. But for some reason, all my friends from Canada, when they come down, they buy an obscene amount of it because they love it. And they're like, we can't get it here, obviously. And if we try to order it, there's an import tax.
Tariff?
255% to be exact. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, ouch. All right, so bring it on all back here.
Since we went to Ron Jeremy cigarettes, Rambo teachers, and everything else.
And working in a gas station, the PC versus console gaming. So I have a very simple thought on it. And maybe this is just me. Maybe I'm not doing things the proper way. I don't PC game in the same spot where I console game. I don't know if that's common for everybody or if that's just a me thing. When I PC game, it's here in my office. You can see with my picture of the Power Rangers and David Yost, signed by David Yost. This is where I PC game, where I stream, where I do the podcast, all that stuff. It's a very different environment than my console. My PS5 is in my basement, which is I have a lounger, like a couch with a fold out, legs, recliner aspect.
Something
I have a 62-inch TV. I've got a sound bar. I've got, I don't have to wear headphones to be able to hear things. It's like my nerd cave or my relaxation spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, like, console gaming for me will always have a spot, or I will always want a console because I want to hook it up to my TV, it to be in a spot that's just like my zone. Like, I want to be Panda, I know you're playing it with me right now, but Dragon Age the Veilguard on the PS5. Yeah. I don't want to stream it. I just want to be able to sit there, play it, and just kick my feet up. And if I want to play for 20 minutes, I play for 20 minutes or for 2 hours. And I play for 2 hours in the most comfortable, like, surround sound, big TV space possible. Whereas, like, with PC gaming, I need my office chair, I need my mic, I need my headphones, I might stream it. It's like a whole thing. It's very, very different. And
see, my thing about that, and just to kind of interject what you're talking about.
Yeah.
See, here's what I do. I always have 2 save files. And the reason for that is, one is my offline file. I play through a game. That's when I have my PS5 in the living room. I chill out. I've actually got 3 gaming chairs. One for the living room, one for my bedroom, one for here.
Well, geez, Scrooge McDuck.
I mean, one of them was free. One of them was free. Someone broke the legs and didn't realize that you could actually just put regular computer chair legs and the wheels on it, and that's the white one that you see behind me. And it matched my setup, so I was happy.
This still sounds like a Scrooge McDuck move.
It is. But no, I'll take my PS5, which is easily movable, because I have my capture card and a power cord. And I don't like streaming directly from the computer because it puts, with all my redeems and stuff, it's more stress. It's easy just to offload the game and have my PS5 do all the work. Now, if I'm playing not on stream, I'll play a game. But here's my thing about PC gaming. In the year of our Lord, 2025, every single game that could possibly be should have controller support.
Yes!
That is an elitist attitude that some PC players have, that everything should be done from the keyboard. And that's, now, an RPG, easy. There ain't many buttons.
No, I like to play an RPG from a controller, and I'm an RPG aficionado.
Exactly. And that's my thing. It's like, I'll pick a game and I'll be looking through Steam and I'll be like, okay. And then it's like, oh, no controller support. Why? Like, tell me why. And I get that it was an old PC port of the game. But
Flame, that Flame, that's a proper point. Strategy games should never be played with a controller.
No,
and if you play a strategy game, with the controller, you are a monster, and you will not convince me otherwise.
That's different because strategy games require a lot more input than most other things. I mean, but I literally watched a guy the other day because I found this out because as I recently announced the other night, I have been playing a little World of Warcraft.
What? Whoa! Okay. We're going back to that before we get into our debate. But sorry, go on.
But even Blizzard realized. I watched a guy because for years I heard, well, you can't do this because there's not enough controls on it. There are literally guides to show you how to set all your inputs for WoW to run from a controller. And Blizzard actually has a command that you can put into the game's chat that automatically detects your controller. Did not know this.
Really?
Is. Yes.
I can't imagine playing an MMO with a controller. I can't fathom it.
It sounds crazy, but the way this guy had it set up, he was able to just play even better than some other players because you can just map the controls the way you need them. Now, I get it that there's a lot but really at the end, like you're playing something like WoW, you're only going to stick to a core, maybe 10, 12 skills. A lot of it's just up there to look pretty on the screen. You're sticking to the same. And Final Fantasy 14 is the same way. You're not using every skill in your repertoire.
No. And I play Final Fantasy 14 even though I've been very negligent over the last 6 months. And it has
controller support anyway, so it's all good.
It does. Well, it was built for console as well as PC, so that's a different animal.
Oh, but Bose with the follow. It's Bose before Hose. He was summoned.
I prefer Hose before Bose, but you know that's just me. Even though I don't have one of those, I have a loving, beautiful
right
wife
there.
Upstairs. 3
abilities done.
All right, I have many questions here. First, I agree with you, Panda, 1,000%. Any game, even older games, like I just got done within the last year playing Final Fantasy 13 on Steam PC, and it did not have controller support set up. Like I had to use DSW Windows to be able to, or is it DS4 Windows? I forget the program. To be able to play Final Fantasy 13 with the controller through Steam. Like it did not work.
Why is that not already in there?
The only way I could have done what is
KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes, absolutely. That's another game. It should be just automatic. I don't get it.
It was on Xbox. It should have Xbox controller support. I mean,
I've got an Xbox controller right here. It should just be like I should just turn this on, Bluetooth connect.
But
done.
Do you have?
We're rocking.
Do you have a cool Mario controller?
I do not, because I went to Target and this was what they had. Imagine Xbox, Target. It's red and white like Target. Imagine that.
Oh,
go
my
figure.
Xbox controller is just the plain old white one, but you've seen my PS5 one, the one I had custom made. But yeah, I don't get it. Like, okay, I get that KOTOR was originally a PC port.
Yep.
But why upload that version instead of the Xbox version? And because I'll tell you right now,
have both.
Yeah,
have both.
But the actual controls, like the computer controls for KOTOR, are dookie. Like they're terrible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've tried. I've beaten KOTOR many times. I've beaten it on Steam. I've beaten on the old Xbox. The original Xbox.
See, some people are like that, though. Some people are like that, Tito. Like, I know people that are, like, can dominate at MMOs and FPS games using the, keyboard and mouse. They have been doing it, but I can't. I've tried. I don't have...
And I'm not disparaging either keyboard use or controller use. Like, I want to be very clear. Both are acceptable.
It's just a comparison, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a comparison. Like, you do whatever feels most natural to you, but you should be able to do either or on pretty much any game. Like, it shouldn't be a game is configured purely for keyboard and mouse or just for controller. You should be able to do either or. It's completely fine. Like, everybody has their preference. I prefer a controller for 95% of my games, but that doesn't mean I can't use a keyboard and mouse, but I should have the option to do either or, especially if I'm PC gaming. Now, console, I get it. Like, again, console equals easy. You got to use a controller. But
and
I
games
view
are
console
automatically optimized for it.
Yes.
Good example.
But I view... Oh, go ahead.
God of War Ragnarok. I can load that up on my PS5 and it's ready to go. Looks beautiful.
Yep.
Plays great. Now, are you going to obviously be able with my PC? Can I get better optimization? But I don't want, some people don't want to mess with that. Some people come home from work, they're tired, they want a game, they want to sit down in a chair, pop open, and that's why consoles will always exist, is because even to this day, developers, unless they primarily develop games for PC, their mind is on the console version of the game, not the PC version. Which I will say, though, that I heard that the Final Fantasy Rebirth... Oh, Ropeman froze. Look at him. What a picture. I told him earlier, I said, Ropeman... I told him he got that computer way too hot. You know, that is hilarious that it went off on the very unamused Rope Man face. Is he back?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
1 second. I need to grab another beer real quick. So before we get into our debate.
Before we get into that, everyone pointed out, and it absolutely looked like you're like, I'm done with your shit.
I mean, I was, but no, I'm not done with the computer versus console debate yet. But I have a problem.
Ooh, no beer. Sad. Hey, check out my.
I gotta go down to my beer fridge.
Check it out.
What is that? That looks like a chick I can see her skirt up of.
No, it's Fallout. It's the Nuka-Cola girl.
Oh, Nuka-Cola! Yes! I'm gonna go get me some caps. I'll be right back. Give me just 1 second, Panda, but what I really want to talk about is the graphics interface with this new graphics card coming out. Yeah. And why people are obsessed with having the greatest, like, graphics to have, like, what's the point of having these overpriced, overpowered graphics cards? Like, I don't get it.
There's a reason, and when you get back, I will go into that with you. Get you some beer,
give me
right,
literally
man.
20 seconds. I can get this in 20 seconds. I'll be right back.
Everybody start counting. Let's see if he really can do it. I'm going to be counting in my head. If he does, we know Rope Man just stores beer apparently in the hall while he streams. Rope Man really needs to get some decor back there. The beer's in his wall. He's got a tap built into his wall. He just goes out there and refills his glass. You know, that's a good idea, actually. Just have you, like, in the closet, have your actual keg and a tap coming out of the wall.
All right, I'm back.
That was fast, Rope Man.
I know exactly where my beer fridge is and how to use it.
We were discussing whether we thought you had beer just hidden in your walls.
No. I live in the north. We have to have insulation in our walls. But I have pondered moving my beer fridge up to my office. The only problem is that when I'm in court, if a court saw me with a beer fridge, they might ask questions.
Insulation? What's that?
The stuff that keeps us from freezing to death up here in the Great White North.
Oh, yeah. Y'all get that gross stuff called snow.
Yeah, but it's going to be like 60 degrees tomorrow, so it's going to be amazing.
That's a heat wave.
It is. It's like 20 degrees above normal. I can't wait. But all right, so the graphics card, Panda, you were going to tell me, like, I don't get it. Why everybody like is running out of their houses, going to micro centers, which I didn't even know existed until or were still in business until
apparently
an hour ago.
Drew found the one micro center and stood in line for 3 hours.
But what is the big deal with getting the latest and greatest graphics cards so quick? What's the point?
Twitch was like, error. That's great.
That's the story of our podcast.
I'll tell you what it is. It's just like anything else. And I'll actually, an interesting fact that I found out the other night. So I've got something for the consoles too. But when a new graphics card comes out, the only people that adopt it are people that are pretty much what I like to call, and what most industry, it's called future proofing. They don't want to have to upgrade. It's the newest, greatest thing. You can tell all your friends that you got a 5090 and you're better than them. And you can just brag about it. But in reality...
So they're Tesla drivers.
Yes, they are Tesla drivers. Unless it's the Cybertruck and it's the snow, then it's just dead. But the thing about it is, it's just like consoles. And the reason I said I got something for that is when the PS5 initially launched, it actually had a very slow launch. One, because of, that weird thing going on, that lasted forever, that just shut down the world.
Trump?
But, no, the coof. But not only outside of that, a lot of people, even to this point, the PS5 has had one of the slowest growths of a generation ever. Did you know that over 50 to 60% of people are still gaming on the PS4?
I did. It's it's twofold from that. One was because of the lack of materials and a console availability back when COVID was going around back in 2020, 2021. You just couldn't get a PS5. But also a big problem with that has been the Sony's basically allowing the PS4 to remain in service. They haven't cut off support for it in a way to make people migrate to the PS5.
This is true. And they actually, though a roundabout way, interesting fact for you guys, if y'all have one, you can still access the PlayStation 3 store.
What? I still have a PS3. I don't think it works, but I have one.
Yes, you can actually still access it, but you can't directly buy games. You have to buy like one of the prepaid cards and then load it onto it. But there's a reason it's still popular. If I don't know if yours works, mine does. Go on there and look at the PS1 and PS2 selections, and you'll see why it's still open.
Is there a lot more games?
There's a ton of games that if you try to buy them physically, you're going to pay outrageous price. You can buy Xenogears for $10
on the PS3.
Yes.
And what is it retail, or well, not retail, but secondary market? You know what it?
Secondary market, good copy of it, $150 to $200. That's not like complete box.
Why would you pay that for a game like that? No, bad. Don't do that.
But
don't feed the trolls. Don't feed the trolls.
But that's the thing. It's all comes down to rarity. While I love Xenogears, it wasn't mass produced like, say, a Final Fantasy VII.
Right.
You can find a greatest hits version of Final Fantasy VII actually through GameStop for like $20-$30, which ain't bad.
I have one in my basement. I think I have two in my basement.
Hey, that's actually a really good deal, Thanatos. Silent Hill for 30 to it goes for quite a bit too. And it's because
Damn.
we don't, and see what we don't realize, because in our minds, the 90s, 2000s era of gaming was just yesterday, when it was really closer to how, when we were being raised, the Atari generation.
Oh my God, it was like 25 years ago. Jesus.
Yes. And full manual, that's a heck of a good deal right there.
It is.
Because so many games are like, well, you know, when you owned a game as a younger, you didn't worry about the manual.
I mean, I did, but not because I wanted to keep it for posterity's sakes, but because I wanted to read the damn thing on the toilet.
Games don't have manuals except like some indie games, and that makes me sad. Yeah. The age of the manual went away. Hey, I
loved PC Gamer with demo discs.
See, I never had, obviously I wasn't a PC gamer back then, so my demo disc come from PlayStation Magazine. And I still have some of them.
Nintendo Power never had a demo disc, even though I loved my Nintendo Power back in the day.
Well, that's because Nintendo's like, you want to play the game? Buy it. I mean,
well, and then I remember a couple of times Nintendo Power gave like full strategy guides for a few games. It was like 4 games, like 4 months in a row. They gave strategy guides, and it was just like, well, how can I not buy this game now? I have the whole strategy guide. I have to play it. I think Dragon Warrior 4 was one of them.
That's exactly what I would do. On the car ride home, I would read the manual back, you know, in the Super Nintendo days. And I do appreciate
and tell your parents to drive faster. Be like, I want to be home now, dang it.
I need to get this game started. I've only got a weekend. I'll never forget.
It's Friday at 7 o'clock. Hurry up.
Yes, when I bought Lunar, I wanted to get to the house as fast as I could, because I was like, I've been wanting this game. And I actually, because I never owned, what was it originally on? Like the Sega CD?
That sounds right, yeah.
I think it was Sega. PlayStation.
It ported over to was it a PS1 game?
Yes, Lunar Silver Story Complete. And the one I bought come with little standees, the soundtrack. It was so cool.
It was huge. It was a huge box.
Yes, and it was amazing. And that game, I'm glad that both of those games are getting remakes, because I get that came out.
Next month, that'll be out.
Yeah, it is next month, isn't it?
It is next month. Suikoden was this month. Lunar's next month.
R.I.P. my wallet. I just got.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, but it's great to see a lot of these games coming back and kind of looping it back around. I have noticed that more modern, like some of these remasters have been skipping the PC and only releasing on consoles.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a company saying, you know, we're going to help out these companies that helped us, you know, like Konami. You can find some of their games, but there's not a ton of their games on PC.
No, there's not. They're mostly on PS5.
Yes. And I will say, pretty much untouched despite a few, like, quality of life. But I will say that the Castlevania collections they have put out, amazing.
My thoughts on Castlevania, but
says the guy that plays, you know, Final Fantasy 14 and is a Tifa fan. I don't want to hear that from him.
Speaking of which, I think it's time. I think it's time.
I think it's time.
I think it's time.
Really, you think that, Flame? I love Alucard in Symphony of the Night. He's like
Alucard. That sounds like a Pokemon.
I mean, kinda. It's actually just Dracula spelled backwards.
Also a Pokemon. I'm just trolling at this point. I'm not a Castlevania guy.
That's fair. But
I did love the Netflix series though. That was fantastic. The anime. That was brilliant.
The anime is amazing. But I've been a Castlevania fan for since I was a kid, so
I mean, it doesn't get better than Simon's Quest. So
standing against a wall to wait on the tornado is one of the greatest things in gaming history. But I think it's time, Rope Man. I think it's time
I do too.
To see how utterly bad Rope Man can defend his point.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Pixels and Pints podcast viewers, the main event is about to start. In one corner, you have Retro Panda 84, who is so misguided in his views on one of the most beloved RPGs of all time that I can't even fathom where his viewpoint comes from. And in your other corner, you have Rope Man the Gray, who is here to defend sanity and make sure that everybody across the interwebs knows how to properly view one of the most beloved heroines in RPG history.
You mean gender swap Zell? Yeah.
Jesus. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's been all over social media. It's been all over the Spot'em gang. We are debating Aerith versus Tifa, otherwise known as flat versus fully figured. Let's go.
By the way, I love both series, Flame. I love Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest equally, but that's mainly.
I just beat Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake and streamed the whole damn thing, so I get it.
It was a great game.
It was amazing.
I actually streamed the original Dragon Quest, the remake technically that they made on Super Nintendo, but Rope Man saw me beat it.
Yep, and they're making the HD 2D remake, and it'll be released this year, and I'll be streaming that.
Lots of RPGs, lots of streaming. That's what y'all have to look forward to.
But Panda, Tifa and Aerith aren't in Dragon Quest. We got to talk about Final Fantasy VII and the ultimate debate of Aerith versus Tifa and how one is clearly superior to the other. And we all know who that is. Just admit it. Admit it now. Admit it now. We can save these nice people lots of time on you trying to make ridiculous arguments on why Aerith is better.
Okay, I'll admit it. Aerith is better.
Aerith doesn't exist just because PlayStation couldn't figure out how to spell her name properly.
Aerith. What I thought in the new, well, yeah, they call her Aerith in the new ones, don't they? They actually call it.
It's Aerith, yeah.
That was the joke, though. I was hoping someone was going to catch the Aerith joke. Because everybody knows the greatest scene in Final Fantasy VII is he are sick. That was
he are sick. Yes.
But
all right, before we really get going here, can we all admit that the translation of the original Final Fantasy VII was absolutely terrible?
Oh,
but unintentionally funny. But unintentionally funny because of it.
It was bad. Like, honestly, it was almost, not quite, but it was almost as bad as the original translation of Breath of Fire 2, which is terrible.
Oh, God, that's so bad.
It's
such
close.
A great game. Such a great game. Such a horrible translation.
Absolutely.
Like those games were translated by like a young rope man who was like, "Hey, I have a dictionary here. I'm going to do this."
I want to translate so I can talk to my waifu.
Hey, don't talk about Sailor Moon that way.
I thought you were going to say Tuxedo Mask, but it's fine.
No, screw that. No, we're not going to go there. That's for another podcast.
Waifu podcast coming 2026. Be ready for it. But
actually, I was just thinking that could be our podcast in 2 weeks.
You know what? It probably could. It probably could be. But on to the subject at hand.
Yes. Otherwise known as the T-shirt that I am wearing. Woo!
Zacada's ready for this. Zacada has seen my trolling.
We've been trolling this for weeks at this point. But this is the debate, the argument of the millennia. Who is better, Tifa or Aerith? Panda, you know what? Because I am so confident in my positions on Tifa, I will actually let you go first and strike the first blow.
Fair enough. Now, obviously, you're going to hear Rope Man constantly bring up and, the looks, but that's not what I'm going for here. Though I do think
whoa, time out. How dare you think I'm that shallow? How dare you?
I dare me, because his whole debate has been boobs. But
just because Crafty thinks that too doesn't mean it's true.
But I will lay out a reasonable, articulated argument of why Aerith is better.
Bullshit! Sorry.
First point. When it comes to, we're just going straight into battles here. We're going back to Final Fantasy. We're going to bring them back. Technically, what you would consider Tifa is a monk. Aerith would be a white mage.
What do you have against the clergy, Panda? What do you have against the clergy? The monks are clergy.
They're one of the most useless jobs in Final Fantasy. Her limit breaks. Why am I going to bust out a stupid dolphin kick when I can literally cast, it was different in each one, but what was it? Final Heaven?
I dare you to be able to do a somersault on stream right now. Just throwing that out there.
Dude, if I ever did a somersault in real life, I would record it and send it to you, because that ain't happening. But that's just battle-wise. Her magic makes her just about irreplaceable for the very first, until, we all know what happens. Spoiler. But
it's Final Fantasy VII. There's no spoilers at this point. It's
not at this point, but up until that happens, she is literally at the very... You would not make it through the very beginning of the game. You could take Tifa out and make it fine with Barret and Cloud. You can't take Aerith away, because she is literally your main healer for the very first portion of that game. And Tifa, her magic sucks so bad. Do I want 20 HP or do I want a full revive? Come on now.
Panda, just because you don't understand how to level up proper stats in an RPG does not mean Tifa sucks.
Oh no, I'm a grind beast. That's fair, Flame.
I have very I have very many comments on that I will not say. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I'm just, now I'm just imagining, you hear Rope Man saying, I don't know how to grind out in an RPG. All I'm hearing is that he constantly dies using Tifa because he doesn't know how to use healers in an RPG. That's what I heard out of that. But I digress. Barrett's not a healer. Barrett's not a healer, Rope Man.
Oh, Red 13 can heal everything that I need. So, that's all fine. But
I knew you were a furry.
Oh, I totally am a furry. I love the animal kingdom.
Oh God, Rope Man. Breaking news. But
what? Okay, so Aerith can heal. What else you got? What other than her being able to heal?
Other than her,
what makes her any good?
I'm getting there. Other than her absolute, like the need for her.
No. Don't put sprinkles on a poop cone here.
I'm not. Oh no, I love furries, Thanatos. I actually got some pictures at the last Ren fair I went to. It's just funny to mess with Rope Man about it.
He is a panda. He does love other members of the animal kingdom. So
Exactly. I love all animals, but I know I'm going past before Rope Man interrupts again. Literally, Tifa is second fiddle to Aerith up until, and even after her death, Aerith impacts the story to the very last second when the cutscene plays, end, roll those credits. Aerith is always on Cloud's mind. Tifa, she's just there. She just happens to be alive. So Cloud's like, well, I thought I was Zack this 30 years. I better go ahead and just live my life. But Aerith, as it fades off into the distance, they're all still thinking, you could take Tifa completely out of the story. Nobody'd remember. Oh, wow, she made a drink for me once, and she has big boobs. But Aerith,
and those boobs can never be forgotten.
Yeah, they can, because Scarlet's there.
No. Go on.
I mean, come on now. I'm just saying, as far as story impact goes, Aerith is going to be, and still she is important to the end of that story. Everything that she has done, even giving her life to make and summon holy, is more important than anything Tifa does that entire game.
I'm still waiting for you to make a good argument.
What's the argument? Take Tifa out, and you miss nothing. Take Aerith out, and you've taken out one of the largest parts of the story. You take
Tifa out, and you are taking out one of your best fighters against the final boss of Final Fantasy VII.
No, that's Sid, dog.
Oh, Sid's older than me. He can't do jack shit. Let's be quite honest.
That high wind, that's all you need. That and Mimic. Or Mime.
Okay, Mimic is good. I'm not gonna lie.
That and high wind, death to all.
But all right, what you got? Any other lame ass arguments there, Panda, for why Aerith is better than Tifa? I'm still waiting for a good one. So,
I mean, other than the fact that if you take Tifa out, the only thing you're missing or you're gaining is more room in the little cart that you get from the golden saucer, because she's not taking up room with her big head. But there you go.
Jesus. That might have been your only good point of the whole argument. All right. Boobs aside, that is not going to be the focus of my argument, even though, honestly, that would just win it, like, hands down, and we could just all go home. But you know what? We're going to set that aside. You know, big boobs over flat chest any day of the week. So says Rope Man, hence why I married Crafty to a degree. Partially, small, smidgen.
I really hope she runs out of there like Aerith does with that chair and just takes you out like she did in Remake.
She's not listening, it's fine.
He's like, I gave her some knockout pills, so she's good to go. Oh, there's Valkyrie.
Valkyrie's like, what? Oh, shit. Rope Man's getting in trouble.
You're about to hear full Rope Man perversion here, because there's literally nothing he can come up with to justify Tifa better than Aerith. But I want to hear
I absolutely can. All right, so we're gonna start at the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, and we're gonna work forward. So, okay, so let's start with the simple fact that without Tifa, the whole damn game doesn't even happen. Tifa is the one who introduces Cloud to Barret, gets him involved with Avalanche. So how does Cloud meet Aerith? Cloud meets Aerith while running away from the explosion of reactor. What what number reactor was it? I'm blanking off the top of my head.
It's like reactor 2, right?
Something like that. The reactor, but when they're
it's the second one because you fight the air thing and it knocks you down, the hole, and that's when you fall into the church.
No. I'm talking the first one when you actually meet Aerith and you get the flower.
Oh wow! It's like she almost kicked off the whole game. But anyways,
no. Tifa kicked off the whole game before you even got to that point. Tifa is the one who got you hooked up with Barrett and with Avalanche and got Cloud going.
So you're telling me
the terrorist attack.
You're telling me it's great that she radicalized a guy that already had PTSD, but she radicalized him and turned him into an eco-terrorist.
Absolutely. You know why? Because we wouldn't. Cloud
You're right, Erky. It was reactor 1 because the
it was
Scorpion
reactor
fight.
1.
And guess what you win? Guess what you win that fight with, Erky? Barrett and Cloud. You don't need Tifa for it.
You do not need Tifa for it. That is factually correct. However, Tifa is the one that gets Cloud involved because Cloud gets involved. Cloud meets Aerith. Without Tifa getting Cloud involved as a terrorist, we never meet Aerith. If Cloud doesn't ever meet Aerith, Sephiroth wins.
Not true though.
That ends the debate right there. But we're
not true though, because
because
in the alternate story and timeline, Cloud still met Aerith without interjecting. Without any interjecting.
What alternate story? What alternate timeline?
In Remake.
Oh, that's bull honky. We're talking original Final Fantasy VII here. The real game.
No, we're talking about the whole series as a whole.
Well, then we can just talk about how Zack is hotter than either Tifa or Aerith. And
Bro's name is literally Fair, and there's a reason for that.
Oh, he's way beyond fair. He should have been named Zack Hot. Let's be honest.
Or Zack Hunk.
Okay. Oh, Hunk. Yes, that's even better. He could pilot my yellow. He could pilot my yellow Lion for Voltron any day of the week.
As the voice actor for Zack comes by because he hears there's this debate, and he's just like, you know what? I'm never coming back.
Yeah, this is weird. I don't like this.
I need an adult.
So moving beyond that, moving beyond the fact that Tifa is the whole reason Cloud is even involved in anything and why the game even exists. So when Aerith gives Cloud a flower, when you buy a flower, what does Cloud immediately do with that flower? What does he think about? He gives it to Tifa. Tifa, his one true childhood love. Now,
wrong,
and the only reason, and the only, no, you had your time. You be quiet.
I gave it to Marlene. Screw Tifa.
Okay, so you like kids. That's what you're saying. I get it.
No.
All right. This has gone in a very dark direction.
No, the child needed happiness because her dad's friend is a terrorist.
And you wanted to give a child happiness by giving her something with a long stem. I get it.
Wow, Rope Man. That went dark. I'd given it to Barrett too. He's the better of the two characters.
I actually would have too. Barrett is the waifu of my dreams.
I mean, Barrett's a single dad just out here, doing his best to survive. Hello, Millie.
Hey, Millie, how's it going?
While Tifa is basically like, hey, I know a guy that is brain damaged and we can control him. Hey, remember me, Cloud?
Hey, you know what? That's initiative. Let's be honest. That's initiative. She didn't sit back and wait for things to fall into her lap. She went out and she made it happen. Unlike Aerith, who waited for somebody to run into her to buy a flower and waited for somebody to fall through the roof of her church. And even when somebody fell through the roof of her church, what did she do? She bitched him out for landing on her flowers. You know what? Tifa wouldn't do that. Tifa's a better person than that.
No, Tifa would just let you sit in a wheelchair out of your brain and make you fix yourself and fall into the light stream. That's what Tifa does.
And you know what? Tifa did that to make him better.
You know
Unlike Aerith, who died and couldn't do jack.
But you know who he thought of that entire time in his brain that fixed him? It wasn't Tifa.
It was Tifa. Every one of those images of Aerith was one of Tifa's boobs.
What? What? I don't even know how to respond to that. It was just floating boobs.
The boobs brought him back, not Aerith.
And
Whatever.
you know what? I'll even jump outside to another Final Fantasy for you. And then I'll let you continue your tired argument here because it makes no sense. So, in Final Fantasy Tactics, when you recruit Cloud, he don't bring Tifa into that world. Who does he bring?
That's not the same Cloud. We're not, no. No, I refuse to accept that argument.
He brought Aerith. Where was Tifa?
No, technically Aerith was just there, and it wasn't Aerith, it was Eris, who doesn't even exist because of bad translation.
Okay, Mr. Semantics.
I'm a lawyer, of course I'm into semantics.
Yeah, see, look, Erky makes a good point.
Yeah, you know what? Tifa wants her man to get shit done. That's right, Flame. I'm 1,000% on that.
But see, the point is, had Tifa gotten off back in Nibelheim, Cloud still would have been. And
sorry, think about what you just said, Panda.
Yeah, I thought about that. But had she just bit the dust,
Sorry.
Cloud still would have done his thing and still would have ran into Aerith at one point. And then they could have been happy.
You
because
don't know
wouldn't
that.
have had...
You do not know that.
I do know that because
No, you don't.
every time Cloud dreams, like when he has a vision, who does he see? Honestly.
Oh, because he has wet dreams of Aerith doesn't mean anything. You know what? That happens to plenty of guys in their, teens.
The guy's
20s.
not in his teens. What are you talking about?
20s.
Which kind of begs the question, why is Sid hanging around 20-year-olds? What a weirdo.
That's fair. That is a completely fair question.
There's a 40-year-old man, and he's like, oh, look at these kids. I'm going to hang around them and get into space.
I want to put them in my big rocket ship.
So basically, he's Elon Musk.
Oh, my God. Oh, dear God. This argument is going exactly like I thought it would, and I love it.
But I'm
It's
just
not a
saying,
debate.
it's not a true. I mean, because at the end of the day, obviously, it's all in good fun. I love the series
Yes.
as a whole, but I'm just saying, if you really look at the deep down, like story-wise, they're both very, very important.
Yes.
But who would it actually, in y'all's mind, because I'm going to put it in y'all's hands, because I know me and Ropeman have our teams, who do y'all think it would impact the story more to actually take out?
And before you guys decide and put your
Ropeman
vote in
is sending
chat.
you all, he's sending you all $5. Don't take it.
No, I'm way too cheap for that. No, I've got my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth t-shirt on right now. It's got all the characters from Rebirth just showing. Look, there's Tifa. Aerith, she's down below. So Aerith doesn't even rank on the top of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth t-shirt. So, that end game right there.
How do you win in court, Ropeman? With that argument.
Facts, evidence, and my beautiful Ropeman smile.
That is a pretty awesome shirt, by the way. And welcome in, Tay.
Hey, Tay. How's Kevin? So, but at the end of the day, can we all just admit, big boobs over flat chest any day of the week? Like,
so you keep that argument going, but Aerith literally is not flat chested. If you want to make that argument,
maybe in Alabama she's not, but up here in the Great White North.
You mean Tifa that spent all the eco-terrorist monies on a boob job? Is that who we're going to root for here?
There is nothing wrong with enhancing a woman's confidence using money. Just throwing that out there.
Nothing wrong with that. But when you're spending your eco-terrorist money on it and Barrett can't even feed his kid.
Flame has a good point. Thick thighs equals wins. I can't disagree with that.
They do say thick thighs save lives, so.
Yeah. I do agree though. Aerith, I will make an argument for Aerith. I want to be very, very objective here. If Aerith didn't have the holy materia, like that would be a problem. That would be a very big problem for the planet. Tifa does not have the holy materia. However,
Tifa couldn't activate it even if she had it. The only one that could activate it is Aerith because she is an ancient.
I fully agree. However, the counter argument to that is Tifa is the only one that can make a cosmic canyon cocktail. I forget what the exact name of it is.
I think it was just called a Cosmo Canyon.
Cosmo Canyon? Yeah, the fact that she can make a Cosmo Canyon means that she can make enough of those that I don't care if the planet dies. So, I can just kind of forget everything's going on.
Ropeman's like, I was so drunk, I never saw Sephiroth falling from the rafters to kill me. What the hey?
It's fine.
And can we mention that hunk, Sephiroth? Let's just be honest.
Oh. Okay, and can we admit that I don't necessarily think Sephiroth was in the wrong? Like,
in a twisted way, he had a good point. in a very twisted way.
He really did. Like, he went about it in a way that was terrible, don't get me wrong, but
think about it like from his perspective. One day you're doing your job, Rope Man. You're doing your lawyer job, and you walk out of there and somehow end up like in this room full of tanks, and they're like, hey, this is where, by the way, I want to point out that this is a scary thought, but they're like, this is where we grow all the Rope Mans at. And they're like, it's like, you're not a real person. We've been making you, and you were made to be the perfect lawyer. You'd probably lose your marbles too. Just saying.
I'd kind of be like, let him out. Let's have a rope man army. We'll take over the world. It'd be amazing.
All you'd have to do is throw like a bottle of liquor in front of them, and you win the war.
Yep. Throw some Jack Daniels out on the floor, and all the rope mans go, ah!
They just start attacking.
Jump for it.
They all start attacking one another. But at the end of the day, like I said, I feel like we both made good points about. But now, Rope Man, is there anything you want to add to the Tifa debate? And I'll do my closing arguments with Aerith.
Absolutely. So, seeing as I've already won, I don't really feel like I have to add anything to this argument. But just for posterity's sake, I will. So, at the end of the day, when the game is finished, there is one of two of these women that are alive. Tifa's alive, Aerith is dead. Retro Panda 84 at this moment is arguing that a zombie should be loved and be loved over a real live living person.
Zombies need love too.
If you are into necrophilia, agree with Retro Panda 84. If you don't agree with necrophilia, you should agree with Rope Man because I believe in the living. Thank you. My argument is made.
Wow. What a weak argument. First of all, I want to, because Ropeman, being a lawyer, he loves arguing semantics. By the end of that, Aerith is not dead. She is quite literally alive. She has basically became a god because she controls the live stream and keeps Sephiroth from taking it over. So without her death, he just would have took the live stream, bye-bye world. Tifa couldn't have done that. She would have got stuck in the hole because her boobs are too big. Second of all,
I'm good.
Second of all, her death was necessary. She knew she had to die. Because without her death, Holy could not activate. So there's no way she could have made.
She is not Jesus.
You know what? I'm gonna avoid that comment. I'm just gonna abstain from that. But no, but she literally everything that she did was for the betterment of everybody. And now I know you're saying we're only counting the OG, but I will at least bring up the remake where I think it's pretty sorry that Tifa goes the entire time knowing that Cloud has a problem and thinking he's someone else and hides it from him, when Aerith is the only one that actually tells her to actually tell the truth. Because you're letting the man live a lie. He is not Zack, and he never will be. He's not that hunky, you know. I don't know if Ropeman froze or he just like stopped there. Oh, okay, he's good.
I'm listening. I have a response to your closing argument when you're done.
All I'm saying is that by the end of it, logically, without Aerith's help, they could not have defeated Sephiroth. If you just took Tifa up there, he would have stabbed her like he did before. He couldn't even touch Aerith. So, I mean, the only reason she died was because she wanted to be dead. To get away from Tifa.
Anything else?
Oh, no, I'm just pointing out that Tifa's a homewrecker. That's all.
All right, so here I have a very well thought out, respectful, perfectly logical response to that closing argument.
This is not going to be that, but let's hear it.
No, it's perfectly logical. I've well thought out. I've been thinking about this the entire time you've been talking about this closing argument.
Yeah.
That's what I think about that.
That's the exact noise that it made when, Tifa comes on screen every time in Final Fantasy.
But that came out of her butt, not out of her mouth. That's a talent.
Well, she just have really bad gas. I'm sorry. She needs some
No,
Zeno.
she's a monk. She has abs of steel, and the gas has to run away because she's so toned.
And let's be honest, at the end of the day, Tifa, Aerith, we all know Jesse's probably superior to them both. But
I'd divorce Crafty for Jesse tomorrow. Let's go.
Let's stick to I mean, that motorcycle scene's probably one of the greatest in video game.
UP16. No, I can't. No, I cannot endorse that at all. Nope.
I'd rather date Red 13.
Oh, God. I'd run off with Red 13 today. Not even tomorrow. Like, Red 13 shows up at my door, I hop on his back, and I'm gone.
Visualizing that is probably one of the most disturbing thoughts that's ever went through my head. Oh,
and the fact he only has one eye, he's probably just going to, spin around in a circle repeatedly because he can't see where he's going.
That's true. That is very true. But I would honestly, I would ride around on Red 13.
Oh, absolutely. Can we all admit Red 13 is the true hero of Final Fantasy VII?
Well, yeah. One of the, because I think we've made our points. You're never going to change either one of our minds.
No.
It's up to y'all.
This was just for fun.
It was.
We
I was right.
Both respect. Yeah, and we both respect both characters. They have their place. They're a lot of fun. We exaggerated a lot of things, but we did that in a way to not only for entertainment purposes, but because boobies are always bigger. Yeah, that's how I wanted to say that. Yes.
Very articulate there, man.
Thanks, Panda. I appreciate that.
But really, at the end of the day, the game is amazing. Go play it. If you've never played Final,
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what you're doing with your life at that point, but if you haven't played Final Fantasy or the remakes,
Oh, flame. No, Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest are both amazing. They're different.
I feel like Flame is just not a Final Fantasy fan.
And you know what? And that's okay. That's fine. Different strokes for different folks. I love them both. I love the Dragon Quest series.
That's
I love
fair.
the Final Fantasy series.
But I mean, let's be honest, the Breath of Fire series is better than both of them.
Oh no. I love Breath of Fire, but that's just wrong. No.
No, Breath of Fire 3 though is one of my all-time favorite RPGs though.
Oh, I'm a Breath of Fire 2 guy personally, but anyway, not.
I like 2 except for the monkey guy. He really effing annoys me.
Whoa! What's wrong with Sten?
Sten, that's his name. He's
What
an
is
annoying
wrong
character.
with Sten?
See, Zakeda knows Breath of Fire 3 is the best.
No! Time out! What is wrong with Sten? He's a prince.
Okay, so is the frog in Breath of Fire 1, but I hate him too. What's his name? He's like French.
Jean. And that's Breath of Fire 2.
Is that Breath of Fire 2?
Yes.
Okay, one
Jean.
is the one with Karn and everybody. Yeah, I don't know why I got
Yes.
those mixed up. Yeah, with the fusion. But Breath of Fire 3, perfection. Now 4, I like the
Flame. I agree with you. Real-time combat and turn-based combat. You don't need both. I want one or the other.
the French spits. See? Terrible characters. You got a French frog and an annoying monkey. Breath
He's
of Fire
not
3 is better.
annoying. What the hell makes you think he's annoying? He is just he's just a nice Highlander who's trying to help.
No, don't even try to justify, especially that little side quest you have to take him through where you have to fight with just him. And it's like the most. Yeah, and guess what? He's so underpowered and crappy. It's nothing.
That's because you didn't use him.
No. There's literally people that have complained about that side quest being so difficult. Even if you level him, he's just not stat wise a great character. Jean is actually better. Well, yeah, because
you know what? That's why I'm an RPG aficionado. I've never had a problem.
Never had a problem with him either.
My Sten can rise to the occasion.
Your monkey.
My monkey can throw knives like the best of them.
Just don't like him. Just don't like him as a character. But I love all the characters in Breath of Fire 3.
God, I haven't played Breath of Fire 3 in I don't know how long.
Like Momo is best girl. I put
I agree.
Momo's amazing. Yep. Dark Cloud is an amazing RPG, and I feel like that game gets overlooked. Dark Cloud 2, I love both of them, but I like Dark Cloud 2 a little more. But I feel like in RPG...
That was PS2, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can actually get both of them, I think, on the PlayStation Network. I think they're both available.
You can. They were on the PSN for a while, but you had to be a premium member, which I'm too cheap for that, so...
But all in all, I think when it comes to RPGs, everybody's always going to have their favorite. They're always going to argue about it. They're always going to argue about their favorite. And that's what I love about RPGs is the fact that you can play Final Fantasy 6, or 3, depending on what you want to call it.
Both.
And really, no two people have a favorite character out of that, but we can all agree Shadow is trash.
What? What? Wait. What?
Shadow is trash.
He sucks as a character, but why is he trash?
He's just one of those characters that by the end of the game, I did get him good. That was perfect. But by the end of the game, does he have a few decent skills? Yeah. But by the end of it, he's useless. He's just a character that's there.
He's a murderer. He's like the best character to kill Kefka.
I never struggled with Kefka because I'm good at RPGs, Rope Man. I didn't need Shadow to do that cheap where you throw the Excalibur and just beat the game.
Oh, you can throw Excalibur? I just had to throw stars constantly.
No, you can literally throw I think it's Excalibur, and hit Kefka, and it's just a one-hit kill.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. I've never done that.
Yeah. But no, I just didn't like, he's not a bad character, but he's just one of those characters that by the end of the game, I didn't ever use him.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to disagree with you. Not because of Shadow's skills, but because of the fact that his seed created Realm, who's the best magic user in the game. So. Oh,
yeah. Realm, my favorite character overall is Setzer. Setzer's amazing.
I love Setzer. I'm a big Locke fan. I love Locke.
I could have done without, and I can't ever remember his name. I think it starts with the Yeti. He's all right, but he's just
Umaru. Umaru's worthless.
Umaru. Yeah, he's worthless. Yeah. I like the Mog just because he's a freaking Mog. He's a Moogle.
I love Final Fantasy V. Butts is one of the best heroes of all.
Did you say
Fantasy
Butts?
games.
Did you say Butts?
Butz. Google the original translation from
I'll
Final
go
Fantasy
with Bart's.
V.
I'll go with Bart's.
Bart's is the original, is what it should have been, but they actually translated it to Butts. I'm serious. Butz.
Rope Man loves Butts.
I am not kidding. This is not a Rope Man troll. It's Butts. Butz. Butts. I will never refer to him as Bart's, even though that is his name. It's Butts.
You are correct, but it's still funny because just hearing you on camera say, I love Butts.
I love Butts.
Thought you were a boob man.
I love Final Fantasy V Butts.
It's like, pick a fight there, Rope Man. Butts or boobs? Come on now.
Oh God, no. I refuse to take part in that fight. I plead the fifth.
Well, guys, I think this has been a successful night on the podcast. I've had a lot of fun.
Damn right, sir.
It has been a wonderful, wonderful night full of just some of, as usual, me and Rope Man's randomness. There's a topic in there somewhere, and occasionally we get back to it, but y'all know by now it's there.
I'm just glad I won the Tifa versus Aerith debate. Like, Rope Man has won another debate. It's unquestioned, unchallenged.
It's challenged, but well, you know what? We'll just, at the end of the day, we'll say that it was a draw.
It was a spirited debate.
A spirited debate. There you go.
A spirited debate.
Oh man, the pubs are closed up. Boo.
Yeah, I'm out of beer again, and I can't get another one. I gotta wake up in the morning.
I do not have to wake up in the morning, and I still have plenty of beers. So after this, I am probably going to go annoy the hell out of you late night spotters that are going to be streaming.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
That's just a forewarning. you know, obviously I'll be respectful, but I'm going to be annoying.
Respectful's overrated.
Fair. But is there anybody, because on the Pixels and Pints, I really need to actually follow some more, but I don't have a ton of people followed yet. Are there any spotters actually live that we could send this over to?
Hold on, I'll take a look real quick.
I was gonna say it'd be easier for you to check.
Yep, I'm on it. I got it. Give me just a hot minute. Let me make sure she's still on.
That's fair, Flame. I understand that. Gotta be right down the middle with the staff.
Yes. Callie Mom's on. Why don't you raid in the Callie Mom?
All right, let's get it set up here.
All right, so Panda, you good for 2 weeks from now?
Oh, I'm great for 2 weeks, and I will have even more to talk about, because there has been a ton of gaming news.
Yes. So we need to find another fun topic like Aerith versus Tifa.
Speaking of, for all you guys that are still here, thank you so much for hanging out. And if y'all have any ideas, throw them out, and we would love to do them here on the podcast, because I mean, this is all about, at the end of the day, it's fun. It's something to do outside of our main channels. If you're not following them, definitely follow Roteman, The Gray, and me. I'm Retro Panda 84. Yep. You guys. And yeah, we are, Louis, I think he may still be here. He may have gotten a little busy, but I know he said he could probably get us, All Might on, which
And Panda, I was going to suggest we even start to invite, once we really get going here with the Spot'em Gang aspect, we get some Spot'em Gang guests going too, to get some different perspectives as well.
Would love that. And just as a heads up about that, if you're a spotter that, doesn't do face cam, that's fine. We can still have you on and protect your anonymity, because I know some people are really big about that. They don't want to appear on camera. They just, I get it.
Yes. Yep. Not everybody's as beautiful as Roteman. I understand that you want to, not put yourself out there. I get it. It's all good. And yes, I'm very vain.
He's just enough to where it doesn't make
a little.
Where you want to punch him, but then you're like, it's not worth that night in the drunk tank.
Yep, exactly.
I mean,
I do. And here's what's funny. I'm older than Panda. Oh, that's right.
But I also have, a lot more facial hair.
That is also true.
You'd always,
I am the ultimate face. I'm not a heel. I'm a face.
He's the face that runs the place,
Yep. I would be a member of Vince McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club if asked, without a doubt.
It's true. But but yeah.
Callie Mom,
we're going to raid over to her. Guys,
real quick, Panda. Spotters,
yeah.
If you are in here, if you have any ideas, thoughts, suggestions, anything, not only can you put them in the Pixel and Pints podcast Discord channel, you can put them in the Spot'em Gang Discord channel. Tag me or Panda. That is perfectly fine. We allow it. Let us know what you think. Anything we could improve. We want to be better. Make this as fun as possible. Anything you guys can suggest, we are open to it. Don't hesitate to put in the Spot'em Gang chat. Let us know.
Exactly. And another thing, since we're getting a little closer, we're getting a little closer every single time. Well, that might be something to work on. I know 6. That's why we kind of went back an hour, but I get it. I know you guys, it's super late for y'all. But, we might eventually do like a, earlier one if we could work it in.
Panda, I would not be opposed to that. An earlier Saturday if we wanted to, but I know you work, so we'll work on it. So
we'll work on it. And another thing is, with us getting closer, eventually this channel will hit affiliate, and I want you guys to pick the emotes when we get them. Because as soon as we get them, I'll be adding it to where you guys can, I'm working on this channel. Rope Man can tell you I add something new every week, and I'm trying to get us better. And once we get there, I want to just do some really cool stuff for everybody. Because at the end of the day, this don't exist without you guys.
And I gotta double up on that. This doesn't exist without Retro Panda 84. So while it looks like we do equal work here, we don't do equal work here. Retro Panda has done the bulk of the work on this. He loves the technical aspect of it. I gotta thank my podcast partner here. He brought this to life. Rope Man is just here spouting enough nonsense because that's what Rope Man does. Retro Panda 84, he has done 99.9% of the work. Thank you, my friend, for doing that, and it is appreciated, and you deserve all the props in the world.
And guys, I want you to go over to Callie Mom and hang out with her, show her some love. Just show that Spot 'em gang. She's Spot 'em, always amazing. But yeah, we'll see you guys. I'm going to go over to the end screen. We'll raid out. Y'all get to hear this fabulous new theme song that I made today.
Oh, it's so good. Panda, you got to tell me how you got that, because I want to make one for myself. So
Gotcha. Yeah, well, you've heard the one on my channel. I made it with the same thing.
Yes, you got to tell me the secret. But anyway, that's for later.
But you guys, y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. Flame, definitely know it's late for you. I appreciate you hanging around and everybody that came in. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Have a good night, everybody.
Fuck the no time. Bruce Suggs take flight.
Controller clicks, glass clinks, collision of dreams, pixels popping off screens, game is supreme. Joystick champs handle schemes obscene, chugging that craft while we craft another meme. Pixels and pints, we on the grind all night. Gamepad in hand, Bruce Suggs take flight. Dungeons to dice rolls, boss battles ignite. Cheers to the squad, keep the vibe airtight. Unlock achievements while popping them tops. Press start, we ain't stopping. Flow don't drop. From 8-bit classics to next gen ops, beer frothy, convo tight, pure